Okay, our next speaker is Miss Catherine Ferrell, and I just want to say we just met a moment ago, and she is so incredible. But something that really struck me as I said, "How would you like me to introduce you?" And she said, "As a concerned citizen." And I just want to say that's all it takes, right? That's what makes change. That's why we are all here. We're just concerned citizens. So I just want to thank Miss Catherine, and also if you're interested in speaking at a rally, or if you would like to get involved in some other way, come speak with me, come speak with Anne, come speak with any of the speakers here, or Aaron, or anyone from Indivisible, and we would love to have you, and we would love to feature your story at an upcoming rally. So.
Thank you. Just a little bit more about my background. I grew up in Nashville, but my father grew up here in Cookeville. He went to what would have been Central High School at the time, played football. He was called Toots Ferrell. I know nobody will know him because he would be 110 now if he were still alive. But I had the opportunity to move to Cookeville about 8 years ago, and like Hillary said, I am a concerned citizen now. And it's easier to do that in a small town like Cookeville. Okay, let's get into it. Billionaires should not exist. That's the title of a chapter in Bernie Sanders' 2023 book, It's Okay to Be Angry About Capitalism. In this chapter, Senator Sanders describes the uber-rich billionaire class as the Wall Street investors and corporate CEOs who determine whether jobs will stay in this country or go abroad, what kind of incomes working people will earn, and what the price of gas, prescription drugs, and food will be. In other words, they who have the money make all the rules, and the uber-rich have all the money. Now we have a billionaire in the White House. One of his first acts, enlisting fellow billionaire and mega donor Elon Musk to root out waste and fraud in the federal government via the Department of Government Efficiency, aka DOGE. Through confirmed and proposed cuts, DOGE has impacted almost 130,000 federal workers across numerous agencies. Now you may think, so what? Government needs a little tweaking. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. But these cuts have real-life consequences for real-life people, like Tara Karen, a California transplant with Tennessee roots. And just a little background on Tara. She was my daughter's high school friend, West High School in Knoxville, and her father, Tim Karen, was a longtime trainer at the University of Tennessee, passing away aneurysm in 1992. So anyway, back to Tara. Tara, an epidemiologist with a PhD, summed up her situation on Substack. I lost my job on Friday. Technically, I'm still employed through April through a few other grants, but the big grant that was to pay my salary for the next 4 years was given a stop work order on Friday. No severance, no warning. And almost a year of work was completely wasted. So about $500,000 of your tax dollars. And it isn't just this one grant. A whole small section of the NIH was shut down. Thousands of jobs lost, millions of dollars in unfinished grants wasted. Let that sink in. Millions of dollars wasted. That's our money. And for what? To satisfy the whims of a couple of billionaires? Closer to home, Tennessee faces potential cuts to various state programs due to a combination of state-level funding reductions and significant federal funding freezes and cancellations. As examples, UT's Institute of Agriculture lost more than $31 million, impacting resources for Tennessee farmers and communities like ours in all 95 counties. In July, the Trump administration froze over $118 million in federal funds for Tennessee schools and educational programs, impacting teacher development, after-school programs, and child care. After much blowback, many of these funds were later released, including money earmarked for after-school and summer programs. Cuts to AmeriCorps led to the shutdown of programs that provided essential community services, including food distribution and support for educational institutions and health clinics. The private sector faces its own challenges as concerns about trade, costs, and worker shortages impact management decisions to scale back or cease operations altogether. This year, Tennessee companies have submitted 33 WARN filings to the Tennessee Department of Labor and Workforce Development. These forms are typically required to be filed by employers that are reducing their workforce, conducting layoffs, or closing their businesses and affecting at least 50 employees. Of these filings, only one impacted Putnam County directly. The closing of the Purdue Farms processing plant in Monterey left 433 employees jobless. Purdue, which reported $9.8 billion in sales last year, cited changes in market demand as a reason for the closure. Statewide, just over 6,300 workers are to be impacted through layoffs. So what can we do to fight a billionaire class that makes all the rules? As we're faced with choices in upcoming elections, we must demand that our concerns be heard, not just pandered to with empty promises. Politicians don't tell us what we need, we tell them what we deserve. We deserve a living wage, a roof over our heads, affordable health care, paid parental leave, a safe working environment. We deserve to send our kids to school without worrying about whether they'll come home. In short, we deserve the basic rights guaranteed to us by the Declaration of Independence: life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And finally, we need a government that works for us, not billionaires and corporations. But to be heard, we must raise our voices. And our voices are our votes. And our votes are our superpowers. I urge all of us to vote, to combine our individual superpowers into one unstoppable force. Together we can make a difference. Together we can make American workers heard again. Thank you for your attention to this matter.